Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the daily update on my 1000 days challenge. This is day 52. So let's get things started. Alright, so on Bitcoin, we have a weekly closing. So this is actually the weekly closing candle, although you do see some bearish action over today as well. But let's see how things goes. In terms of weekly wise, we're still in a bearish market structure with a high, a lower high, and a low and a lower low. So that has not changed. You can see over here. Similarly, on the daily chart, actually, there isn't much of a change, but the change actually more interestingly happened on the 4-hourly chart first, which is actually normal. But let's see, let's take a look on the daily chart first. So daily chart, we get high, a higher high, higher high, a low, and a higher low. So of course, today is likely going to close with a lower low, likely, the keyword is likely. Then we have a lower low, in which case we'll form a neutral market structure until a lower high is formed. That's where we'll get a bearish market structure transition on the daily chart. All right, but more interestingly, I did enter a short, and you can see over here, I did mention that over here, I still wouldn't enter a long simply because the upside is limited and the downside potential seems to be more. And I entered based on the short, like what I mentioned yesterday. It was a clean break below here. You can see the minute broke below 7.25K, which was what I wrote specifically. It entered into this region. So, yep. So over here you can see what I read yesterday. So I was waiting for long setup where in this kind of scenario. For short setup, I want to break below the 10.725K, and thereafter stop loss will be determined by market position, which is over here. So what happens, or the thought process of how I set my position size for this particular trade was that, for example, this hour, I would, once this candlestick has formed, that is where I start to put my sell stop order. So initially I will actually put it right over here, using this as a guide, as the market structure, and then over here form. And fortunately for this, it didn't have a clean break above this market structure, which the high is 10.994K. So I put right above the 11K mark. So you can see over here, this is where I will have set the stop loss in terms of price action wise. And fortunately, it didn't hit above, so I don't have to set a higher stop loss. So I could have a tight enough position over here. So over here, you can see that once it broke through this mark, which is broke through nicely, both the 200 simple moving average on the 1-hour chart and also the horizontal support, just fell short-term bearish momentum. I do see that potentially we could retrace a little bit upward to retest the support turn resistance before we fall towards the downside, or of course, you could just trend downwards as well. Of course, it could also bounce all the way upward as well, so there's something to bear in mind. How I will be exiting from this trade. My exit plan will be very simple. So I will have my first target over here at 10.2527K region. On the other hand, I have a trailing stop loss based on the previous candlestick close. There will be a very tight and aggressive stop loss. And reason being is that price is still above the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart. So there's something to bear in mind. All right, and secondly, if it does break back above, where I would take my stop loss isn't exactly here, unless it's a sudden spike and jump. What I would do in terms of price action is when it does close above this 150 simple moving average and 50 simple moving average, and say for example price close above here, that's where I will actually take my stop loss instead. So this means I'm actually risking a much shorter risk in that sense. So that's how actually I manage in terms of price action to get that overall edge over extended period of time. All right, otherwise that's basically about it I have for you guys today. Hopefully the market will be interesting in the opening for S&P 500 in just maybe less than half an hour time. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Oh, before I do, and let's just update a little bit on my balance. As you can see over here, it's still dropping a little bit today. I did have a 2 loss trade in terms of the experimental setup with 1 good trade, 1 positive trade. So overall, it's still back to negative again, but that's no big issue. Let's see how things goes and carry out. I still believe and have confidence in the system that I'm trying to trade through. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.